Bienvenue in La France, in this big chaotic traffic jam. And here we are, and we start this new adventure, this new carp fishing session. Basically, as you have seen, we landed in France after a good 15 hours driving. We were tired, we slept, and then we kept on traveling this morning. And finally, we arrived here on this Lake Cavagnac, which we discovered by Dream Carp Holidays website. And yeah, what to say, the venue looks very stunning. And wow, nature all around, fields, trees, wildlife. I can hear birds of prey in general. It's so beautiful. I love to be immersed into this nature. Basically, I don't really know that much about this water, how to approach. I just see that there's really a lot of lily pads and a lot of grass coming to the top. So I know that for sure fish must be inside of all this grass, these lily pads. And yeah, I'm gonna try to do my best to achieve at least one fish, and to have some more fun. So now I'm going to download the car with all the equipment, put it on a boat and sail to my swim, and finally we can start this adventure. Okay, boats are loaded. Now we're going to our swing next to our friend Jack and Lewis. Very exciting for this. Very excited. The place looks stunning and wow, full of fishes, hopefully. Very beautiful. So tell me about this, the lake. So basically it is a natural pond or it's man-made?
Yeah, so this is a natural. Yeah,
This is
natural. This is
from a spring.
from a flooded valley. So the valley flood many years for the generation for the chateau. You can see in the distance here. Bournezel, they was the rural owners for this land, you know, and the family, they take it for many generations for fish farming.
So according to years?
1800s?
1800.
Yes, very old. And even now we have some pictures here from the early 1900s. It's crazy. Some of the pictures you see, it's beautiful. Some of the landscape has changed so much, you know. You can still see some of the valley, the shape is obviously there, you know, but the tree lines and everything has matured so much, even since the time I've been here, you know, and this is coming up now for like 15 years, you know. So it's it's a beautiful place.
About the stock of fishes, of course, I can imagine, okay, being that old lake.
Changing, so the generations from many years before, you have prehistoric, you know, the old gene generation.
The oldest genetics of fishes we actually can find here, I guess.
And it's a good thing, you know, with all the mirrors here. Even though we stopped some with in like 2015, 2014, 17, them sort of types of fish, they've all been kept individual, you know, they're not all the same, which is nice, you know, when you see the mirror you can spot one different from the other, and I've seen them again grow for so many years, which is beautiful to see.
Wow.
It's nice. And the lake itself is looking beautiful right now. The lilies there all out.
It's all
last week we have had a lot of rain, you know, from May. A lot of rain.
perfect. Now that the camp is set with the beavies and the rods all opened, ready to start, basically now, yeah, we just jump on the boat, and now we're going to discover what can be potentially the right spots where I can fish and drop my baits. Basically, I have the open water in front of me, where all the 1, 2, 3, 4 arms are connected together, and I can fish straight in the middle. In the middle also because it's very interesting, because I have all lily pads around me, and of course I know that the fish are going to get stuck inside of them. So I'm going to fish at the very margin of these lily pads, and basically I'm going to spread a lot of bait all over these lily pads I have in front of me. Basically all of them are at about 60 to 80 meters casting from my bank, and basically, yeah, it's tricky because according to what are the rules, basically I know that I cannot use braid line, I cannot use lead core and so on. So basically it's just straight mono to the hook link basically, and yeah, I cannot, how can I say, I must avoid to fish straight inside of these beautiful lily pads, because eventually I know that I will never be able to get the fish out from this hell of weedy stuff. So basically, yeah, I must be very careful in any case that once I have a run, the clutch, it must be quite close, I have to say, so that I have to be very quick then take the rods. But yeah, first of all, let's put some bait now, and eventually we can talk whenever we have a run. Okay, so basically now I have lily pads that makes like a V shape. I'm going to bait all in the middle, let's say, of this straight point, because I know that I still have some, let's call it a good margin of possibility to take the fish out whenever I have a run. And also because it's intriguing me the fact that I have like this crown of lily pads. I have good reason to think that of course fish can just swim around inside and from one place to another to cross in the middle of this spot. Basically what I want to do is to attract the fish here in the spot, not necessarily on a very small spot where to catch the fish, but on a wider area. I want the fish to swim and stay here and feed them here. Then, if we are lucky enough, they can pick up my boilies. Now go back and cast the rods out. I really hope we can be lucky enough to try to catch at least one from this venue. You know, my target is always to catch one. It doesn't matter the size or what when I'm fishing on a new venue. Then once we achieve our first fish, then we can set new goals and eventually try to catch more or bigger or some special one, who knows. Okay, so basically the first 2 rods I drop them by casting in the water, as they are very close at about 60-65 meters from the bank. And for this last one, the one in the middle, where I drop the baiting around area on 80-85 meters from the shore, basically I think it's best that this one I'm going with the boat to drop it and spread even more bait around this place, for a reason that basically I have a 0.45 millimeter monofilament in the spool of the reels, and basically I don't feel it's how can I say, more practical when I'm going to cast this one. So instead of making 10 casts before I'm satisfied with the distance and everything, I think it's much better for this one to go with the boat. So yeah, just preparing and let's go with the boat. Okay, so we entered the game, officially entered the game. I don't really know what to expect, to be honest. Now we just sail with the boat to carry all the equipment here on these pontoons. We set the BV, we set the baits, we set the rigs presentation and so on, and managed to drop the bait as well. On this first stage of the session, I wanted to prepare a big amount of bait, I have to say, and to spread it all over the 3 spots I choose. Basically, let me say that I don't have that much of possibilities to drop the bait. What I mean, according to what are the rules for this venue, I cannot use braid line, so I have to put my trust in the monofilament I have, which is a 0.43 millimeter, so it's quite big and strong. But still, I know that whenever I have a run, I really have just one option, basically. When this fish is swimming inside the lily pads, I know that I must go with the boat out immediately, as soon as possible, and fingers crossed to manage to take it out. And basically, yeah, I just hope that maybe we can have bigger activity, so that we can have more run and miss more chances to eventually land some fish. It's a tough place, because basically, yeah, according to this scenario we have in front of me, it's with all these lily pads, which are very robust and strong, so it will be impossible to cut them with the monofilament. But on the same time, I have to say that I'm happy, because the venue is very beautiful. I see already few fish jumping and so on, and it's quite positive vibe, I have to say. Now, yeah, it's the very first day, so we just wait on these sunny days. We check the forecast, and as long as we are at quite altitude here at about 500 meters on sea level, I know that temperatures in the day can be quite good, around 18 to 20 degrees, but in the night it will drop definitely much more, and it will be definitely colder. So yeah, I don't really know what to expect, to be honest, because of shallow waters. Sometimes is a synonym of that you can fish only in the night, most of the times, and mostly on this period of time of the year. And yeah, it's finger crossed to manage to land at least one. It's always my goal once I'm fishing on a new venue, at least one. Then everything else is a gift extra that I can receive from the venue I'm fishing. So yeah, let's see how it goes, and in any case, yeah, being here is good. It's actually the first morning. We just spent the very first night here on the lake, and I have to say that I was expecting a bit more of action in the night. Basically, there was no action at all, and yeah, the weather was warmer for the night. I thought it can be colder, but no, it was quite good, I have to say, but no bite at all. Then at the very first light of the morning, I got finally a run just when I was retrieving the rods, basically to check the baits and so on. And I got a bite, which unfortunately I lost it. I was expecting this, sad to say, but when you fish in the lily pads and you don't have the gear you want to use, like braid lines that can help you in what can be the time on reaction and non-elasticity of the braid, it can be more tension and helps you really a lot in be quick enough to have more chance to land the fish. But yeah, I'm not gonna cry that much. So basically now I just made three new rigs with bigger hooks also, because probably I think that the bigger the hooks also it can maybe why not in this situation, can grip more on the mouth of the fish. So yeah, basically now also we had a little shower, which is okay. Probably it can oxygenate the water and activate the fish maybe more. I also prepared a new bucket of bait, drenched with attractive liquids, which fingers crossed that they can attract more the fish on my swim. And just new rigs, new bait. Let's drop the bait again, and I hope that for this rainy day we can have some more luck and land a fish or two. I will try also to keep quite close the clutch, so that if I have a run, the fish can take less line, hopefully, and let me be in time to try to lift the rod and pull it over me. There's not really much that I can invent in this situation. I just hope for a fish to be collaborative. Okay, so basically, it's tough, it's not easy. All these lily pads are very robust and tough. And of course with the monofilament, even if I have a 0.40, it's not the best to use, but we have to do what we can, basically. This is the key of winning sometimes. Try to do what we can in the worst situation. Now also I decided to drop all 3 rods instead by casting, because I realized that I have to be more accurate as possible. As long as I have the chance to use the boat, it's best for me to go there and drop it at a good distance between what I repute a good spot and the beginning of the lily pads. And also the last rod, I decided also to go a little bit further and to drop it on a different spot. Not too much baiting, so that the fish is swimming towards these lily pads, and fingers crossed that we can have more bites.
500 li fa.
Combatte. So literally it's the second morning, the sun is rising, almost rising. It's just the very first light, and just 10 minutes ago I had a bite and it was a very small carp, maybe 1 kilo common. I immediately released it and jumped back in my batcher, and suddenly again another run, and this time I have to say that probably is not a 1 kilo carp. It's giving me a very good fight so far. It's not definitely a small fish. I don't know how big it is. I still cannot understand it, but it's very playful. Even if I was asleep, I have to say that immediately I totally woke up and I'm enjoying the fight. At last, I have a good fish in my net. Oof, what a good wake-up call. So basically, since I lost the very first fish on yesterday, then I decided to do all 3 new rigs with a bigger hook, with also the biggest bait I have with me, 25mm bottom bait and 20mm pop-up. And also I thought on yesterday that I might leave the bait in the water until I repute it was good chance to let it stay there. I wasn't afraid of turtles or small fishes that can crunch my bait and ruin the baited area, because I know that basically there are no turtles, as we have information, and small fishes cannot really do that damage. So that's why yesterday I baited abundantly on the spots and left basically for a good 20 hours basically the bait on my rigs, and finally all of a sudden in 10 minutes we got 2 rounds. So I think it's quite good now to cast immediately the rod again. Maybe there's other fishes on the area feeding from the bait of yesterday. So yeah, let's go. And it was definitely a good idea to set the drag almost close so that the fish cannot really take that much line. Oh. Sorry for the interruption. I was just amazed by a kite diving to take a fish. Crazy. It's really definitely a good hour to catch some fish. I set the clutch, the drag almost close basically, but it's very important then to secure the rod pod with this screw on the leg of the rod pod, in order that whenever we have a run, the carp will not take for a swim the whole setup. Good. Okay, now let's cast the other rod, and then maybe we can come back sleep, and hopefully for just a few minutes. What a beautiful morning. Finally some good vibes, I have to say. Sun is rising. Basically it's already a good hour that I catch this last fish, and yeah, now it's time to reveal it and show on camera what was the very good fighter machine of this mirror cup I landed here in this Cavagnac Lake. I said, yeah, I got previously, before this one, 10 minutes before this fish, I got another run, and it was a very small common, and I was a bit sad, to be honest, after more than 48 hours of waiting, and after a lost fish, then you got a very, very small fishes. But then, yeah, just be patient, and the reward arrived. So yeah, let's take a look at this one, because it's a very nice chunk. we go. Proper chunk from this lake. Very beautiful fight. I was enjoying the fight a lot. Also because it was a surprise. The run was slow and pure, let's say. It was very slow and giving me the feeling that it was also a much smaller fish. But then once the fish almost get close to the bank and felt probably the shallow water, oh, she started to give him a hell of a fight. Okay, now time to let her go and eventually wait a couple of more hours to see if we can have more run, and then eventually I will go again with the boat to spread some more baits. Just like yesterday, we are in the middle of the morning. Basically, it's not even noon, and the wind is peaking again. It's always straight from this direction, which is northwest, I guess. And the only difference is that today we have this strong sun. There's barely few clouds in the sky, and I don't know. I hope that eventually, with the sun and the murky water, maybe the fish can be more active, and the fact that today is gonna be more stable, the weather, according to yesterday where we had clouds and rain and sun and again rain. So today with more stability, hopefully the fish can be more confident in coming to the spots and biting. Why not? So fingers crossed for this to happen. Late night, and I got a run finally. I was sleeping so tight and I gotta run. But yeah, now the fish is a bit stuck in the lilies, but in the lilies near to me. I see if it's the case too pulling, but yeah, the fish is coming over. Okay. Oh, good. Very nice. It looks also a nice fish. Wow. Awesome. Okay, so I don't know really what time is it at the moment, but it's still pitch dark, so I know that it will be still few hours before sunrise again. So yeah, I think definitely I will just keep the fish few hours in the sling, so that in the morning I will be able to see properly to take a couple of shots. But yeah, great. 16 kilos. Minus about a kilo, so yeah, basically it's literally exactly 15 kilos of another mirror carp. Hello and good morning. This was the final night and I was very hoping for to have one more run, and it was so, luckily for me. And also it was a very nice fish that now I just kept it for the night for a couple of hours basically in the sling, and now she's full energetic, and is a very nice mirror chunk, up to 15 kilo also this one. So I'm very satisfied and happy for the result, considering the tactics and the way that is possible to fish on this venue. I have to say that I really tried my best and I got some nice results. Now, yeah, let's have a look on this fish, and then we will start packing down and moving to the next destination. So thanks for watching CarpQuest. Subscribe the channel and just comment if you have any questions on, and see you on the next one.